how does one introduce somebody that they love so deeply?
I know. I feel like we could just stare in each other's eyes and everyone in proximity to us will get what they need.
They literally would get so much value. They would be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not an easy thing, by the way, for someone to have such like extended eye contact with another person, but it's the only thing that feels obvious and easy when I'm with you.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
received that.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys, Tracy is obviously somebody that I am deeply close to and an exceptional human being. I met Tracy Litt at a spa appointment quite some time ago. I was meeting Kate Northrup, and we had these occasional, like once a quarter, once every 6 months, we would meet at the spa and just chill and mastermind. And she goes, "Do you mind if my friend Tracy comes?" And I'm like, "Love it. Great. Can't wait." And I sit down and we're all having lunch together. And I'm just like getting a feel for who this human is. And when you just meet people that like a sentence drops out of their mouth and you are changed as a person and we're just having salad.
Yes.
And I'm like, I love her. If you're one of those people, like the second that you start talking, people either love you and they would start a war for you, or
Mhm.
they would end a war for you,
Mhm.
which sounds more appropriate.
Mhm.
Or you'll never speak to them again.
Mhm.
And those people, God bless them, goodbye.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I also remember Kate saying to me, I know we're doing like the spa thing. Do you mind if my friend Andrea comes? And I had the same response. I don't know if we ever shared this part of the story before,
Never.
meeting to each other. And I had the same response. I was like, of course, like, because also Kate is salt of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So anyone that she loves, I think you know that you're going to get a sense of a fabulous person.
Yeah.
And then also I remember sitting at lunch and having that same experience. And you and I being such energetic, focused women and beings, I felt like we were sensing each other the entire time we were hanging
Yeah.
out. And then it just got deeper and higher. And, it's kind of like the rest is history with
Mhm.
the love affair that we get to have. And I appreciate you saying what you're saying, because one of the things that I'm recognizing more and more about myself is really who I am
Mm.
and the true divine gifts that at times I cannot even like say thank you for or claim them as mine, because they're so bloodline, they're so divine, and I'm the vessel that continues to open more and more to be that. So you either come into contact with me and it's like, yes, or it's like, oh, hell no. And what's interesting about when it is a hell no is there is a large percentage of those people that then come back around and they're like, now I'm ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually ready for the truth
Yeah.
until now.
Well, I love that you say that, because actually that would be the only reason that somebody would not be able to stay in your world forever is if they're not comfortable with the truth.
Yeah.
And you and I are truth seekers. So we like bonded and I'm like, I just want to hang out with you.
Yes. 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 Exactly. Exactly.
We're sitting here saying like, hope the podcast producer doesn't plan on having lunch today, because we'll be here for 4 more hours.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit more about what that means in terms of like what you were just saying about yourself. Like, one of the things that I'm writing about, I've been writing my book since I made that promise to you, Kate, and Leanne at the beginning of last year. And so the premise of the book is what you want wants you back, but in order to be found, all of you has to be there. And what's in there is that like within your DNA, within your genetics, within who you are, like literally seeking, even the word expansion to me has felt so exhausted.
Mm.
And I'm like, I think we expanded so hard that we found ourselves everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And nobody is vibing any longer. And every time I think about the word expansion today, now it just feels like, what more can I do versus how deep can I go?
Yeah.
And that like depth of like the core of me has opened up gifts beyond what I could have imagined for myself or prayed for.
Mhm.
Like, tell us more about.
Mm. When you say that, what comes through for me is the truth, the fullest expression,
Mhm.
right? Which is my playground,
Yeah.
which is why, as the vessel that I am, it has that impact and effect that we just both talked about. Because what you're ultimately saying is I'm going to be so good with me. I'm going to go back and pick up the parts of myself that I disconnected from, thought were too painful to experience, integrate them, love them, bring them in like a Russian nesting doll,
Yeah.
right? And then allow myself to be so in love with me. So, like, if I wasn't me, all I'd want to do is hang out with me, right?
I
For
love
all of
it.
us, though.
Yeah.
And to be so in our unconditional love and acceptance and so in our wholeness that all we can be is the truth of what we are and who we are,
Mm.
which means the fullest expression of who we are and what we are without consideration or thought or hesitation or denial of. And it's in like that fullness and that wholeness that you experience. Like when you say that, it's like I feel it in my womb space. And it's just like this delicious depth
Yeah.
and grounding. Like I'm so planted whilst also being fully in the stars.
Yeah.
You know, that's the visual that I get. And that's the whole point, because it's only in that fullest expression that your Andrea medicine, that my Tracy medicine, that are the true unique codes, not bullshit vibey code conversation, but like actual, you have certain codes that are as unique to you as your fingerprint is to you. And in order for you to be medicinal, which is what I believe we are all intended to be, to leverage our gifts, to pour into the world, to contribute and make a dent, we can only actually do that when we're in the fullest expression, which is when we stop giving a shit about everything and everyone else and being misunderstood. You know, I remember you and I had lunch. Remember where it was? In Delray. I remember. I'll tell you about it. You were there, but I'll tell you about it.
I remember. I just don't know where you're going with
Well,
this.
we were there. We were having a conversation about all the things,
Oh
all the
yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah.
And I said, it was like one of the things that recently landed for me was it's safe for me to be misunderstood. Right. Like, so that's kind of where this goes to. And that's part of what I was saying is I'm recognizing myself more and more, and I'm allowing myself to like claim, own, be in the, like, I'm a unicorn and I didn't even do it. That's
Right.
the part of it that we have to realize, right? Like to demote the ego and be like, thank you for encoding me and choosing me and giving me every fucking time that I was on my knees. You and I have had many of those conversations too, right? Whether it was my
Mhm.
mom dying when I was 24, you know, choosing an abandoning father biologically for my daughter, dating a sociopath, you know, having failed. It's like everything I experienced. Thank you,
Yeah.
because it has created me in the most beautiful way.
I I feel like 2025 was the year of like unlocking that fear of being misunderstood.
Mhm. Totally.
Like there were I thought I didn't really have that fear, but there were um some areas where by some people that I didn't care if they misunderstood me, a stranger on the internet, you know, the guy with the strange angel photo in his Instagram post and his bio says John 3:16 and he's private, like
Yeah.
misunderstand away. I actually find it kinky. Like, tell me what you think about me, and I'm going to tell you all about the truth of your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, but the intimacy, relationships where I have deep intimacy,
Mm.
being misunderstood felt like I would die. That was something I feel free of in
Mm.
2026. But like, boy, did I have lots of opportunities to free myself of that in
Yeah. Yeah.
2025.
And that's, there's so much that wants to come through. The plethora of opportunities that our human experience gives us to workshop the objective of our soul is
Yeah.
such a stunning lived experience. Like if you are listening right now and you are available to get what I'm saying, the way you move through this world will change forever.
Yeah.
Everything that presents, every moment, every circumstance, every trigger, every activation, every triumph, every win, everything is there for us to continue to. That's what evolution is, like real evolution. To get it. Oh, we didn't get it all the way. No problem. I'm going to give you another chance. You're going to get it a little bit more. You're going to get it a little bit more. You're going to get it a little bit more. And the moment where there's no longer an emotional quote trigger to the lesson, now you have wisdom.
You're
You're
done.
playing a whole fucking different game than everybody else is playing.
Yeah.
Right. Which is just like the coolest thing. That's why I'm obsessed with growth, because it's the reason we're here. You know, it's as spiritual, energetic beings having human experiences, and I know we speak the same language on that. It is our divine moral responsibility to go within and evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And our businesses and our relationships and our motherhood and our friendships and our flat tires and our traffic and all of the various things, micro and macro, is how we honor that.
Yeah.
That's what we're actually doing. It's not about the launch, and it's not about the build, and it's not about the divorce. It's not about any of that. That's all third dimensional shit. And I just want to play up here.
You literally do. That's all Tracy's
listen, none of it's real and we're all going to die.
I literally said that so many times in 2025, thanks to you. The year of the snake, I was just like, Tracy said.
Yeah, right? But it's also so true. It's just so true. So it's like when you can allow yourself to leverage that, pull the lever, embody it, and go, okay, wait a second. None of it is real, which is a scientific fact. And we're not getting out alive, which I would argue is the only objective, universal truth that's left. Everything just lightens up. And then you're like, oh, so I don't have to wait till I'm on my deathbed to stop giving a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I know, actually, so this is interesting. It's like something's clicking that I have never articulated this way before. My mother dying when I was 24 became one of the biggest gifts of my soul's objective.
Yeah.
Because it's that lived experience, because she was my best friend. I mean, just the most magnetic, like whatever codes I have, because they came from her.
Yeah.
Like, oh, for you to have met her, you would have been like, I just need to sit in her bosom for like years. You know, she was just so amazing. And for her to leave her physical body at such a pivotal time in my life gave me this moment of relativity where I was like, oh, I get it. I get it. None of it's real and we're all going to die.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, the gift that has been to thousands of women that I have been able to love in my career, you know, and like, I know I can feel her. She's like, yes, girl. My mom's like, yes, keep spreading the truth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to go back to what you were saying about like, as soon as the trigger's gone, then there's wisdom. And I absolutely feel that on a visceral level. I know that in my whole soul to be true. And so if we were to hold the intention of like, okay, so for the trigger to be gone and then therefore to be replaced with wisdom, that's where we're going. That's the intention that we hold. What I hear most of the world teaching is how to live with the trigger, and or to suppress, to ignore. There's coping out the ass, right? Here's how you cope with the things that have occurred in your life. And then there's you and I share this belief of like, but what if we clear?
mm-hmm.
And so that's a whole different perspective. One of my self-coaching questions that really got me through a lot last year, especially when Keith and I were going through our, illusions.
Uh-huh.
I kept reminding myself like, okay, do I believe I live in a friendly universe? Yes. Maybe not friendly world with friendly people, but does the universe feel friendly to me if I look at how flawless nature is? Yes, I can look at nature and say there's a perfect order to nature, and therefore I can find it friendly because I can find it predictable. So I have that belief, yes. Okay, do I believe in a friendly universe? Yes. Do I believe there's a divine intelligence that loves me? Yes, I have been held by the divine intelligence viscerally too many times in my life to doubt that. I have my own evidence there that feels like a true yes to me. And then the question is, do I believe the divine intelligence would do anything for me? Yes, absolutely. And then I have to sit with, so maybe it is. And then where do I go from there? Because what I'm looking to gain is not how to continue to move forward with my triggers. What I'm looking to do is to move forward with wisdom. How do we get there, Tracy Litt?
I want to just get up and gyrate, but then it'll mess up the whole mic situation. So let's first acknowledge that what happens when a trigger occurs is that your body gets pulled back into the past.
Mhm.
It experiences whatever that moment was where that trigger kind of locked in physiologically in your body as if it's present day,
Right.
but it's not. So the thing to really recognize is that the trigger is such an opportunity. It is not something to be managed or coped or deflected or positive vibed over. It's something to very consciously, meaning from a higher level of awareness and a data point, start to go, okay, wait, like, dare I say fun? Okay, because that's the land that I play in. So you have that moment of the trigger and you notice it because, and everyone has their own, physical sensations, right? But for me, when I experience a trigger, it is usually a little bit of my knees, interestingly, a little bit of my chest. And I get this kind of like both a fawning shoulder roll and a fuck you, I need no one kind of thing, like all at the same time.
Absolutely.
I was like a ball.
I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah, it's a salad of everything, of everything. So understanding in the first place when I'm explaining about the trigger helps us to know, okay, whatever I'm experiencing right now in this present moment is not in fact reality. It is so deeply connected from a context standpoint to what I experienced back then. And back then could have been 4 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old, 23 years old. And your body literally goes, I know this, protect her at all costs, bring her back and stay right there.
Yeah.
And then the ego comes up and we get really defensive and things like that. So first, now we're at a different level of awareness. And then we must stop this beautiful thing because the mind has no business in the body and understanding our triggers and processing them.
Right.
And we get to go to the body and we get to close the eyes. We get to breathe deeply. We get to start to feel the real emotion connected to the trigger, the inadequacy, the abandonment, the rejection, whatever those moments were, the not enoughness. And we honor it by metabolizing it, by processing it. And that's different for all of us. It could be sitting just like that in that stillness and you'll feel it dissolve. It could be you need a full on tantrum, right? It could be snot bubble cry, get on the floor with a weighted blanket and tremor until you have nothing left to come out of your body. And once we do that, we start to dissolve it. And then the next time another present day circumstance happens and the trigger comes, it will be less intense than the previous time that you experienced it, and you'll know it better, right? So I'll give you one of my examples that has been very real in my life. So I'm in a blended family, right? I'm married to David now 15 years, which is like amazing. And he has an ex-wife and I have an ex, but he's not present because he's an abandoner, so that kind of took care of that on that side of the world. But what's interesting is Taylor and I have a ton of conversations about this. And at 22, she's super aware. And she says to me, like, she'll call me, she'll be like, Ma, this happened, but I know my body just got pulled back in the past. So I sat with it and I this and I that. So I say that because the best thing we can do to love the shit out of our kids and the generations to come is to really get what we're saying here and double down on prioritizing your internal infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So in my experience, with David's ex-wife. I don't get appreciation. That's her journey. She hasn't chose in the 17 years that we have reared and raised daughters together to share thank you, to be appreciative, any of those things. In fact, a lot of times it was the opposite of that. And for a long time before I became who I am now and understood things, because that it's been a lot of years and I've only been doing this since 2017. I used to get mad at her. I used to be like, why can't she appreciate me? And why can't she this? And why can't she that? And why isn't she saying thank you more? And all of the shitty things that come out when we're not, regulated and conscious.
Mhm.
And then what I realized is I had so many moments with my mom when I was little where I was so underappreciated, like deeply underappreciated as a middle child, as a very too much exuberant, loud middle child, where I got a lot of messages like, not right now, you're being too much. Don't hold your sister like that. Put her down, sit down, get out. Like if we watch home movies, which one day you will literally hear my mother saying, Tracy, move out of the way, sit down, move, like just enough.
Yeah.
Right. And it communicated this message to my body that I am too much and I'm not appreciated. That was kind of the decision that my mind made at that stage.
Mhm.
So when I realized that what I was experiencing wasn't about Katie, it was about what my body was holding, I was able to have a completely different experience of her.
Mhm.
Regardless of what her experience of me is, it has nothing to do with that because I'm responsible for my reality. I'm responsible for my lived experience. I am the cause of the effect that I see in my life. And it changed everything.
And what I also hear in your story with mom is what she was trying to express to you, which is actually quite normal how most of the world expresses. And you and I would actually disagree only because we know neuroscience and we know truth. Mom is looking at external world while having an internal feeling. And when she sees that, she links the two as being associated. And in reality, what mom was trying to say is, I'm experiencing emotions that are too much,
Mm-hmm.
right?
1000%.
And not Tracy's too much, but my emotions are too much.
Yes.
And so if mom could say that from like absolute truth right now,
Mhm.
again, for little Tracy, what little Tracy would hear is I'm experiencing emotions that are very intense right now. What I'm noticing is that I'm looking for areas outside of me to control because I don't know how to move in to be able to give this gift to myself. I'm looking for grasps of control versus actual true power. And I've just given my power away. In fact, I've thrown power at Tracy
Mm.
instead of moving within to give it to myself. And you were just too young then to be able to get that story that now you know for sure.
Yes, 1,000%. A
So,
1,000%. And wouldn't it be an amazing world, which you and I are earnestly intending to build and trying with every moment of every day as we speak and create and offer and invite to live in a world so conscious? Because this is what consciousness looks like in application of this conversation. To be so conscious, to be so aware, to have that ability to draw that perspective, to realize that the people that raised us were simply unhealed,
yeah.
didn't live in a world that we live in now in the consciousness revolution, didn't have moments like this, conversations like this, modalities, opportunities to realize exactly what you just said. And her nervous system was experiencing so the absence of safety
Right.
that it moved her into such levels of control that everything outside of her, just like enough, quiet, everybody enough, because it's the only way that I can try to get myself under control. And you beautifully put it right in your true power, which I love also because there's just so much garbage about power and sovereignty. And it's like, you guys, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
Real power, real sovereignty is so inside of you. Doesn't matter what's going or what's not going on outside of you. And it's just the most stunning thing to live through.
I love the way that you describe things and you use the word stunning so frequently about things that are just that feel like garbage on the inside when you're experiencing it in the moment. But I love that reinterpretation because it is quite stunning on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that when the story changes, and I say all the time, I have this deep belief system within my soul that when you're in the presence of truth, suffering can't coexist. Suffering eliminates itself.
Mm,
Right. And so if
mhm,
mom had the presence of truth in that moment, what she would have known is like, this is how biology works. And feelings are not evoked by something happening under here. Feelings are evoked by how my mind is interpreting.
mhm,
My mind is interpreting what is happening out there. Right. So, like, the presence of truth would have shifted for her and started to eliminate suffering. Suffering wouldn't have been caused on your side when you were too young to reject
mhm,
what felt true. She was somebody that you loved deeply, somebody that you had tremendous authority in your life. So she said it, it must be true.
mhm,
And therefore you took it as truth, or it was labeled, it was repainted as
mhm.
truth
Yeah.
for sweet little Tracy's mind for, so
Mhm.
many
Well,
years of her life.
yes, and I think what's so important about what you're saying is, the way that this goes down neurobiologically is she's having that experience. That's her nervous system. And this is like, you'll never be able to think your way to this. You can't intellectualize what I'm about to say because there is a neuroceptive process that's happening underneath our conscious awareness at the level of all of our nervous systems all the time, 24/7, 365.
Right.
So as her nervous system is experiencing that, my nervous system especially, and I'm putting my hands like this specifically because the parent, the mother being the caretaker and the child being taken care of, right? My nervous system is then responding to hers and it's like, nope. And it just locks, it just imprints. We're just going to be done being ourselves, right? We're just going to be done being whatever too much means.
Mhm.
And we make a decision
Yeah.
in that moment. And those decisions then play out as our belief structures and as our programming. And it's all happening and you don't even know it's happening, which is another reason why it's our divine moral responsibility to really come in and evolve. Right. One of my favorite Ram Dass quotes of all time is the best thing that you can do for me is work on you. And the best thing that I can do for you is work on me.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the coolest thing. And the other thing I wanted to say is thank you for acknowledging, like when I say words like stunning, right? Or awesome. And my clients, when you're first a client, they're always like, how come every time I cry my face off or something goes down, you're like, that's amazing. Like, are you
Yeah.
for real? I am because I understand the big picture, because
Yeah.
it actually is amazing. It is stunning. It is awe to allow yourself to be so in touch with yourself, so available for your truth, so available for your power that it is like, I am rallying, yay, you, because also pain is inevitable.
Right.
The suffering part's optional, but the pain is inevitable. So even if you are just totally moving energy because emotion is energy in motion and you get that, then it's like, yay, yay all day.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just, I mean, like, words are so powerful and they all have individual charges for each of us. But I love choosing the identity of the person who can label that as, stunning or whatnot. Like, one of the sentences that's been present of mine for my client right now, more, and like what I'm hearing from the collective, not anything I'm working with a particular person right now, but something that maybe feels like it will come through is I keep hearing the words, why does it have to feel that way, this way, from the collective? And
Mm,
when I feel that and I'm noticing like what I'm feeling in my community or what's going on maybe with a group of people that I'm either going to serve or am serving, is asking the question of like, but if it didn't have to feel this way, what would that look like?
mhm.
Because you are correct. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. All it takes is a little word salad.
A little, yeah, little word salad and metabolizing all the stuck stress in your body.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's truly that's the missing link in anything that you're currently doing. If you're listening to us and you are also a beautiful heart-led service provider and, transformational leader, because we don't have available the vastness of word salad
Mhm.
if we're congested inside of our systems and our bodies.
Yeah.
Right. And the question, why does it have to feel this way, is driven by the identity that perceives powerlessness. right?
Mhm.
I think something interesting that I'm observing that I'm talking about a lot is even though you're successful and high achieving doesn't mean you're not being a victim.
Right.
The depth of victimhood that is present, enough is enough. Like we need to really recognize where you keep leaving your power and abdicating it because you're never going to get sovereignty if you are in victimhood.
Yeah.
Just like you can't be curious and judgmental at the same time. We need to really understand that and allow ourselves to be like, okay, wait a minute. So maybe there's a little bit more radical personal responsibility to take on this one, or maybe I can step into the fact that I am the common denominator of all this stuff that's going on. And it requires you to be whole in order to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you don't believe you're whole, if you're still fucking around with the lie of unworthiness, which also the game is over, like that's the lie, then it prohibits you from taking radical personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. But if you go, wait a minute. All right. So I am it and it is me. I am derived of the same oneness and energy and atoms as the sun and the moon and the stars and everything else that is currently vibrating in the world that is energy. And the fact that I'm alive indicates that I'm whole. Like, how many hours of the day do you get back if you're not fucking around with not enough?
For the love of God.
Everything. It changes, like, your whole posture changes. Like everything that's available to you actually starts to become available to you.
You know, one of the beautiful pieces of wisdom that I was able to acquire from Keith and I going through our difficulties last year was I already thought I was the person taking all of the personal responsibility, and I was low key sick of it. I'm like, I feel like I'm exclusively taking the personal responsibility. Like, I'm doing the therapy, I'm doing this, I'm doing like, and what was really difficult for me to grasp at the moment was just because I am taking personal responsibility doesn't mean I'm doing something of value to do that.
Mm.
And that was such a critical distinction for me because going back to sovereignty, you and I are both like team sovereignty. I'm here for that. Like, that's why I'm on earth.
We should make sure.
Yeah, we should.
We will.
Never a moment that
We
I
will.
don't want like a matching
Merch.
jean
I know.
jacket with you or any kind of merch. I'm here for that.
Like legit. Okay.
My team's
Sorry.
already on it.
I literally I just need to say team sovereignty. We will wear them. Okay. Sorry to interrupt because you were really on a track.
Okay. So looking at sovereignty, what I'm realizing is like, yes, he has his own work to do, as everyone else does. And am I sovereign if am I truly believing in sovereignty if I'm also needing him to express his on my timeline? So no, because now I'm trying to control his timeline and when he gets his lessons and how he processes and how he does his things. And then the other component of it for me was if I'm really taking personal responsibility and if I've really done the work and if I'm really choosing sovereignty right now, why am I then still suffering whatever he's doing? I'm only sovereign if I see any path he takes as sacred because then I'm not suffering or trying to control it. My shoulders aren't like hunched trying to grip. It was me realizing that in order for me to be okay, he had to behave in any certain way, which then I've lost sovereignty. I'm not free.
Right. Correct.
And
because it's letting go of control at the core, right? Like really, if we just drill it down. And to your point, whatever his path is, whatever the timeline is, it's sacred and ideal.
Yeah.
It's sacred and ideal. And that requires, which to me is part of sovereignty, living at a level of embodied trust that is so unmatched, that is so truly like walking around knowing something that nobody else knows. Right? We're just like, it's just not even that it's all good, not even that it's already done, but that God and the universe is actively conspiring in my favor, delivering me all the instances and the moments to be a phenomenal steward and answer the objective of my soul. Therefore, I can let go of the adaptation of control, which is what control is. And I know that because I'm the founder of Control Freaks Anonymous, the recovering group.
Thought you looked
And
familiar.
exactly. Saw you at a meeting or 12. Um, and I perceive that all of our journeys, but especially the journey of women in leadership, right, defined as entrepreneurship, foundership, motherhood,
Mhm.
it's truly a journey back to trust
Yeah.
and surrender.
Yeah.
And those moments where we realize I might be perceiving I'm doing one thing, but really inside in my deep down, I'm doing the white knuckle thing.
Yeah. And I was still, and I'm, running ads on a program called Ignite His Leadership in 21 Days or Less without demanding, begging, or even saying a word. And
That's hot.
the comment are like, why do I have to do one more thing? Which is relatable. I get it. I felt that too. It's not that I don't have deep compassion and understanding for like a woman who feels like she has to be responsible for one more thing. That's not what we do.
Yeah.
Really, we free ourselves.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they get the energetic memo of this person shall leave because they are so free
Mm-hmm.
with love and respect, but they will not stay in shit
Mm-hmm.
that I shall get my shit together today.
Correct.
And it happens instantaneous. Like it is wild to watch all of it happen. But I really do deeply relate to the thought, the grievance of feeling like it is just one more thing for me to do. But what I wasn't getting in that moment when I was in the dirt was, why would I not want this for myself anymore? Why would I not want to choose a perspective that eliminates my suffering, independent of whether he does anything anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, part of me believed that, and I've actually found this to be a pattern in many women, that if I stay mad for long enough, and this is beyond an intimate relationship with your love, this is a relationship with anybody that you've had a grievance with, there's like, I have to stay mad for longer to prove to you how awful that was of the thing that you did to me.
Yeah. What you're touching on is fucking huge. And the first thing that comes through for me is so few of us experience unconditional love that we have no idea how to really deliver it, hold it, and feel it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second thing is so many of us experienced love masked with shame and guilt. And I'll make sure you feel it enough, and then that will make you act. And as a result, we don't realize that we have these emotional addictions and emotional familiarities to that. So then we stay in the behavior of, I'll just be bitchy. I'll just be extra assertive. I'll just revoke sex. I'll just do these things
Fight
to
clean.
correct. Yeah. Like, it's fucking clean, girl. It's clean. You're digging a hole in your quartz countertop. Like, you got to stop,
Yeah.
But really, in the spirit of sovereignty too, that's also deflecting your opportunity to go within, to take a look at what gets to be dissolved and processed and metabolized and what needs to be loved within you. Because if that's how you're attempting to influence and get someone in your life to shift,
Right.
then that's a reflection of what you experienced. Right. And it's also, and I wonder if you had this experience through this journey together and this beautiful offer you have now. So many of us were raised that way, that when you choose sovereignty and you choose what I teach as detached involvement, like here we are and we're together, but I'm completely detached to what road you choose and go down.
Right.
Like I am not, I'm just going to let you do you. And I'm going to be here and I'm going to hold love, and I'm going to hold love, deep, like obnoxious love of myself, like offensive self-love.
Offensive self-love is a great name
Right?
of a
Like,
book.
oh yeah. Oh, I just felt something good in my body about that.
You're going to write that.
Ooh, offensive self-love. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let me come back online. That was so good. Wow. You heard it here first. Okay. Which then allows you to see through the lens of love, which then brings about patience, which then brings about also wanting their sovereignty, Because the thing
Right.
about, I know this is right where you are right now. I can hear your words coming out of your mouth. The thing about the spite cleaning, just be a little bit madder, like that's not love. That is
Right.
shaming someone into a behavior that you need to feel a certain way, a la victimhood.
Mhm.
So you're saying, I can't feel better. I can't feel great until you do something. That's
Right.
waiting for something outside of you to change how you feel inside of you, which is my definition of victimhood, right? And do you actually want that kind of love? Do you want to be in the kind of relationship that you have to hold someone's fucking feet to the fire?
Thank you.
Gross.
Thank you.
Gross.
Yeah.
But it's just so conditioned and it's so normalized.
Right.
It's not normal. I want to be clear about something I drew a distinction on a long time ago. Things become normal because they're common,
Right.
not because they're actually normal.
Not because they're fucking valuable.
Right. Healthy,
Right.
desirable, right? So it's like, imagine a world, which you're clearly earnestly working on as you're making this offer for all these gorgeous women that feel aligned to it, where you can live and let live, enjoy your life, love that journey for you, babe. You're going to do you, which shows them sovereignty for themselves, right?
Right.
And I'm going to be over here and I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
Because I also know at my highest and best, because God loves me so much. You and I talk about it all the time, right? Because God, we're God's favorite, right? We all
Absolutely.
are. That this isn't even about whether this relationship sustains. Because once again, it's another circumstance where your soul is answering its objective. And we get so attached to the outcome. I need this to work. Is it going to work? What does it mean about me if it doesn't work or does work? And if you are in any semblance of that thought process or level of mind, you're cutting yourself off from something much, much greater than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I just want to like soak that in.
Let's do it.
It means so much. I don't want to leave you over.
Let's do it.
I will never let go.
Yes. Exactly.
You know, I really have been toying with this personal practice of mine of if something goes wrong, if Keith and I have like a little, disagreement, which now is almost never, like it's so rare because my turnaround time is so fast that I don't know if this is a guy thing or a girl thing, or if this is just a human versus a human thing. My ex was the same, who I was with for almost 20 years. Like he could just move on about his life. I fucking stewed. I think me because that was the example that I had from my mom. My mom held a grudge. Like it was really her greatest accomplishment in life. So I've been playing with like, how fast can I let myself be free of this? How fast can I choose freedom now? I really, really for so long, like stayed with that story of like, the longer that I showed them what they did was wrong, the more that I'll protect myself, right? That like either they'll change their behavior now, they'll like lean in and tell me how much they love me, or they'll never do it again. None of which work. Ever. Don't have one piece of evidence.
Right. Yeah.
I really like rode that train for a very, very long time without questioning it.
Yeah. So because your body was addicted to it.
Right. I knew nothing else. So anyways, like I've been playing with like, okay, I just told Keith 3 minutes ago that I was mad. He saw it in my eyes. I took myself upstairs and he actually gave me credit for this at a friend's house the other night. On Tuesday night, we were having like a taco night Tuesday with friends. And he's like, you remember, I think I did this with you or with Kate, but you were there. You know, the eye movement exercise?
Yes, where we put it in the cup.
Yeah. Exactly. So now I'll just excuse myself upstairs. I'll go put it in the cup, the napkin, I renamed it the magic eraser.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs, I clear my trigger, I come back downstairs and I'm like, love you. He's like, do I trust this?
Is this Satan? What's going on?
But we feel each other's energy so cleanly and so honestly that he's like, oh, she's fine now. So we're fine. And I was like, wow, I could have chosen this year. I could have literally just dropped back in my heart and said, I choose freedom in this moment. I choose peace in this moment. I don't have to suffer for any longer. I really was just clinging to that story of the longer I suffer, the safer I'll be.
Mhm.
When in reality, the longer I suffer, the more I just suffer.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that actually occurred.
Yeah.
Just more suffering.
And I want to illuminate that you couldn't have been ready before now.
Sure. I believe that.
Because as you continue to prioritize the internal,
Mhm.
the nervous system imprint changes over time. And then feels safer and safer and safer in a way that you can't intellectualize that understanding of how safe you feel.
Yeah.
So then there becomes this readiness to shift faster because you're getting closer to the wisdom part of the trigger than you were in the depth of how long it would take before. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like evolution
Yeah.
stacks. It's both instantaneous and cumulative in its benefits. So it makes perfect sense that you are now at this point where it's like your astute awareness to the moment, the gap has closed tremendously. So you're like,
Yeah.
you're on it, like, "Whew, okay, so I'm going to go do what I need to do for me."
2 to
Hi,
10 minutes
sovereignty.
now at the most.
Right.
And
And
I'm
you
done.
go and you honor yourself,
Mhm.
and then you come back and it's true. And I love when you said, and you and Keith can sense Dave and I have that same thing. Like, it doesn't matter what words are coming out of your mouth. We know it at this level. Either we're well or we're
100.
not well. Like, that's
Right.
just what is, right?
Yeah.
So that's such a beautiful
Yeah.
thing because then also to whatever his past experiences have been, you coming downstairs and truly being clean and clear is what I've been referring to it as, right? You're truly clean and clear, not that old thing that we'd be like, we're fine, it's fine. And you're still just like, you're just giving off porcupine needles the whole time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when and he can sense that, that also lets his body be like,
Instantaneously. Yeah.
she's well, I'm well, we're well. And that's such a stunning thing.
Yeah.
That's such a stunning thing.
So going back
Yeah.
to like even thinking about your mom or my relationship with Keith or my relationship with anyone where there's ever been conflicts, it's so interesting because I was, me taking that full responsibility
Mhm.
of whatever's mine is mine and whatever is yours is sacred and none of my fucking business. Then me just giving myself permission to just like bring myself back to joy, bring myself back to my heart, bring myself back to truth, independent of what he's doing. I was thinking, like, at first, I was thinking he's still going to have to do his own therapy. Wild how my healing starts to transfer to him, where he reinterprets his own beliefs of life as I've reinterpreted mine at a body level. My body tells his.
Mhm. It is so spot on and so profound. And that's one of the things I mean when I say you are the variable, right? Which you're the common denominator, you're the generator, you're the cause of the effect. And when a variable changes, everything in proximity to that variable must shift in accordance to the variable changing. So it always will have that effect.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like, just sit back and watch, right? That's why so many women come to me like, what do I do to make my spouse do this? What do I do to help my kids do this? And my answer is always stop focusing on them.
Yeah.
Triple down on you being in with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the magic will just follow and flow.
Yeah.
You don't have to be concerned with it, which is also such a paradigm shift for women because we were all raised to like, we even have, it's us that like, we weren't even on the totem pole, let
Right.
alone actually prioritize it,
Yeah.
And the other thing that's coming up as I was listening to you share that beautiful experience about, and then when you referenced how long it took, you were perceiving it was taking you long to get there. I had that experience with my hyper independence, right? So my adaptation always was literally like, because I got to where I got when I was a single mom with Tay for so long, like it was just like armor the heart, girl. There is no availability for this. You are just going to head down and you are going to get it done.
Yeah.
And for a long time, that showed up in my marriage and my ability to just go stone cold.
Oh, yeah.
I can ice you out.
Oh, Keith is the icer.
like it's just like boom. And so that then my body can drive the story. I don't need him. I can leave at any
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
It's fine. I'm good. Like calling my sister. Now we have this joke sometimes because, we're all married and life is real. Like I'll just call her, I'll be like, but where the fuck am I going anyway? Where are we actually going? We're not leaving. So like, what do you need to get out? What do you need to
Yeah.
say? Because we're in love and this is stupid. But, recognizing that what I learned that is part of neuroidentity evolution and the work that I teach is starting to become very aware of what your emotional addictions actually are and what those adaptations connected to them are so that you can close the gap and notice them faster
Yeah.
and bring the safety to the system so that you can shift the behavior. Like there's this one really good example where we had like a riff. This is a few years ago, just like a normal, I can't even tell you what it was about, but it was a date night, just the two of us. We had a thing before we were getting ready to leave. And we get in the car and I'm like, I'm ice queen. I'm ice queen. He's driving. I am, if I could have crawled out the window while he was driving, I would have. But I was doing, I'm going to prove a point. My arms were folded. My
Yep.
body was completely toward the window. He's driving to my left and I'm just seething. I could eat this. I could all the shit. And very lovingly, which he is, he's like, hey babe, do you think there's a world where we could let this go and just like have a really great date night, in the first, how could you even say, just like all the things, all the fucking real things. And then I notice myself. I'm like, hold on. What's the first step that I need to do? This was part and parcel to how the choice method was created. I was like, hold on. So I start to notice, wow, Trey, isn't it interesting that you're not even giving him any of your body? Isn't it interesting that your arms are folded and like white? You're like, my nails were digging into my own skin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's just notice that. All right. What do you need right now? Let's take a few breaths. And I'm just, breath is the mechanism to the body. So I'm just breathing, but good that he doesn't know that I'm breathing, because I'm not fully ready. Like, let's be real.
Right. Don't think I'm doing this for you.
Correct. My face is still to the window as I'm slowly trying to bring myself back to regulation and sanity. And then I'm like, okay. And now I am centered enough to put my arms down. And then I notice again, okay, what do you need now? You need more breath. Okay. And I do it again and I do it again. Okay. What would she do now? Oh, the version of you that knows that it's safe to be loved and doesn't need to do this alone and is totally available for this kind of man. Okay, she would shift her body. So then I move my body. Breathe again. And what I notice, okay, breathe again. What would she do now? She would put her hand on his hand that was on the shift of the car and just like let him know we're good, And boom. And then we had like the best date night. And I had to go through that experience and that series of experience. And I had to and got to know enough about myself and what was familiar in my cells, because that's the thing we really talk about, like the science of transformation.
Yeah.
To understand that that moment wasn't what was real.
Right.
That was the whole protective gig that my body would go through, and then bringing myself. And then when you do that and you let the version of you that is whole and unconditionally loved and trusting and 5D and consciousness and all of these things lead, you shift the trajectory of each moment, which changes the trajectory of the days and the weeks and the months and the years.
I feel like 10,000 women are just going to be changed by that one little story. And it always makes me think of like the challenge that I'm doing for myself. It's like, how fast can I come back to like actual true joy?
Yeah.
It's simply just asking yourself, like, what do I really want? Do I really actually even want this? Do I want this?
Yeah.
Do I want this pattern? Do I want him to get it in this way? I liked how you asked that earlier. Like, is that really what I want? Do I want a man who like the only way for him to get it is if I behave like that? And then like, what value comes after that? Like
what value? And the acknowledgement that we are relational beings. And when we are in relationship, we entrain dynamics of those relationships via who we be and how we act. Right. So it's recognizing that it's like, oh, if I have to do that this time, guess what? I'm gonna have to do it next time. It's no different than our kids. If you say pick up your shit or else, and then you pick up their shit,
Right.
You're welcome. There's your relationship.
Right.
You will be doing that for your children forever and resenting the fact that you don't hold boundaries, and you'll make it their fault.
Right.
Instead of your ownership. You know what I mean? So it really comes down to, and to me, that's also sovereignty. What do I want to experience, not only in how I spend the hours of my day feeling, what do I want to experience in my relationships?
Yeah.
What kind of dynamics do I want to have? And then you be your lane part of it, and the rest of it will handle itself.
You're welcome for the masterclass on life.
Ah!
I don't think there was an important thing about how to live a fucking great life
Yeah.
that we didn't
Yeah.
touch on.
No, we did it all. You're welcome. You're welcome.
For free. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you know what I just hate though is like, I got to sit here and like touch you and look at your R's, and I'm just like, look closer, and it's like, hey, hold on, move these mics. Like,
Okay.
I just want them to see. Like, look at your eyes. This is what I got to stare at this whole time. Depth, the richness of, like,
Thank you.
soul. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Founder of the School of Becoming.
That's me.
You just launched an app.
I'm so excited about her.
Tell us about what you have going on in the 3D.
So many things.
We've got all the 5D now.
We do. So the School of Becoming app, please go download it. Like right now, it's free to download. There are magical free resources. There are meditations you can buy and get instant access, classes, programs. The app was one of those things that I created because of how much natural friction and resistance there is in transformation, right? So the School of Becoming is exactly what it sounds like. It is the school where women leaders and founders come to become, to evolve, to work at the level of their nervous system, to expand their capacity, to shift their relationship with the unknown, all of the beautiful things that we do. And what is natural about transformation is resistance, and there is an inherent friction. So then I'm like watching it, and I used to make this joke to a lot of clients, like when I would be teaching a class, and I'd be like, listen, if I could create an offer where I crawled up you and actually did the work for you, I'd be offering that by now, right? But that's not a thing. It's never going to be a thing. So
I saw that though.
right? Like imagine, like if I could literally do it for you, I would. Like that. I want this for you. I want this for you.
Okay.
So then I was like, well, what's actually a reasonable close second to that? How do I create something that makes us not do? Because I'm like this too. If I have to find the email, if I have to wait for the video to buffer, if I have to remember the thing and was it in this or was it in that, it's done.
You've moved on.
So the app is once you're signed in, you're in. Anything you do with us for the rest of time and anything additional, like the free weekly frequency shifts that I'm doing in there, will always pour in, and you'll just do it. And voila, I've helped you cut down the resistance. So that was a real intent in creating the app. So that's what's happening there. So grab that. We are about to move into the phase where we are opening enrollment for becoming certified. But first, and I am stoked about this, I didn't get to tell you about this yet. So I'm so pumped that we're all sharing this together. So I am who I am, and I love to speak what is truth. So I have created something called The Real Thing. It is it's a PDF. And then I was like, no, I need to speak this. So I just recorded it as a video, which I watched the video back last night. I say it's like midnight. And at one point I'm watching it. David comes outside. He's like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. And I'm like, all right, go to bed. Cause like, this is really good. And he goes, are you watching yourself? I'm like, yes, I am.
This is really good.
This is really good. I need to finish watching this.
Show is excellent.
Like this girl is fucking incredible. So watch.
Wait, what's the name of the book again?
It's just
Disgusting. I love myself. Wait.
Oh, offensive self-love.
Yeah,
offensive self-love. Exactly. We'll put the story in there. So I'm watching it, and it's just so tremendous. And it's called The Real Thing. And I share 7 truths that you are not being taught in any coach certification you've done in the transformation industry, and calling out really what it's going to take at this point, because we are in this weird perfect storm. AI is wow, and absolutely going to shift everything from AI twins, influencers that you think are real that are not even real people, to the way that it can build out strategies, frameworks, goals, like the shit that you used to be successful on. I love you. It's over, right?
Yeah.
And the industry distrust and the really low level 3rd dimensional consciousness guru model that this online space was built on.
Right.
It's just all fucked, and it needs to end. And I'm here to help end it. So The Real Thing is this gorgeous guide and video and audio. And then you get to come to Irreplaceable in the middle of May, which is a 1-day workshop where I'm actively experientially teaching you some of the things in the guide, like how do you help a client process stress in a session? Like, are you equipped with doing that? Do you understand that your unconscious codependency and your unhealed need to be needed is blocking your client's ability to be sovereign, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So I'm super pumped. So then certification comes. And then the thing that I'm like, haven't even been able to wrap my mind around how my heart feels about it is the Becoming House. Like, 6 months ago, we were in the condo, right? We had just renovated the condo that was going to be like the place. You know every moment of it. And then when David said, I don't like condo living as much as I thought I would, right? And then the girls were like, we love it for you. I have 3 college-age daughters. We love it for you, but like, it's not home. So like, we don't come there as much. There's no space and dogs and da da da. And at the same time, I'm feeling this like, I don't want to work inside the house anymore. So I was telling you, I was looking at like parcels and like in shopping plazas and stuff, And then David's like, well, maybe we should move back to the house we still own in suburbia. And my body was like, oh, fuck no.
Absolutely not.
There is no world where that's happened. Literally, it says to me, there's no world where I can leave East. And I literally looked up at the universe and I was like, I need you to give me another potential because this is not it. So I started doing what I do. And then boom, I play with Zillow one night and there she is. And now we are 2 months living in this gorgeous house that has a separate guest house that was built in 1938. And I'm renovating her. And she is a fully designated workhouse called the Becoming House. And we are going to do VIP days and we are going to do intimate retreats multiple day. And we're going to do guests. So there will be a night where it's like the Becoming House featuring Andrea Crowder and we'll do a whole thing. So like, especially in this time where everything is just doing what it's doing in our world. And for what jazzes me the most, which is in person, come, let me hold you, hug you, touch you, help you move your shit. Like,
You haven't lived until you've had a Tracy Litt hug.
Thank you. You
agree. And Keith are my top.
It's the best.
Sorry
it's
for
the
anyone
best.
else.
I know. Like when Keith and I hug, it's like, give us a few minutes. Correct.
Yes.
So the Becoming House is coming and it's amazing. And you're going to be able to come and do private things and group things and sit under the mango tree and have beautiful, like evening altering conversations with fabulous women.
I'll be having regular sleepovers.
Oh, 100%. Oh, and the guest room, just every part of it. And as I'm, restoring her, I am making sure she feels like yummy and comfy and modern, but every door handles original, the crystal door handles and all the light fixtures I picked look like original light fixtures from the 30s and 40s. And I'm just out of my mind about it.
We have to tell the story of the prayer circle when you were trying to sell your house so that you could buy this house and all of it was coming together at the same exact time.
Yes.
And it had to be this like magic of divine favor of specific timing.
Yes.
And I was telling Tracy, I think, Berkeley and I talked about it on our episode where we talked about like setting a timer for a hot guy to come up and introduce themselves to her.
Or for me to go up to the hot guy and be like, yo, are you single? Do you remember that?
Best wingman ever. There's no better wingman in this world than Tracy. But same night, like Tracy and I sat down, she was telling me, she's like, this house has to sell. And I was like, let's do a prayer circle around the house. I happen to be one of those people that if I do a prayer circle around your house, it's selling.
Yes.
And we gave it 48 hours. And I remember thinking like, as we were doing this prayer circle, we were like imagining, and I was like building this like energetic tower to the top of your condo so that people who hadn't seen it before would see it now. She texts me 48 hours later. She's like, we have a buyer. You guys, if you haven't picked up on the use the fucking timer yet, use the fucking timer. Prayer circle your fucking dream.
Yes.
Prayer circle comes from the Mark Batterson's book, who used to be my pastor back in Washington, D.C. and is a phenomenal author. And I love
Circle
him.
Maker.
The circle maker.
Yeah. And I remember we sat at the Hotel Lands event. What was the hotel called again? The Palm something in West Palm. And we were sitting at a huge dinner table with many women and we were just on the side, holding each other's hands with our eyes closed, just ignore us for a few minutes. We're
Which is
we're
what we'll do
circling the
anymore.
condo. We're circling the condo. So great.
Close eyes anywhere in the world
Yeah.
and just like be
Yeah.
present with each
Yeah.
other as if we're in some sacred
Yeah,
communion, but it'll be
exactly.
like the grocery store.
Right. Exactly. Just ignore us. It's fine because we're ignoring you. Don't worry.
I love you so much.
I love you too. I love you too. Thank you for this. This has been incredible. Like so fulfilling for me.
Same. Okay, you guys. The School of Becoming app
Yeah.
is now live, something you can access so many beautiful resources for free. We'll drop that in the description below. So go ahead and click it, sign up, get access. You guys obviously have spent the last hour with Tracy and you know that you need her in your life now.
Thank you.
If you're
Thank
open to
you.
truth.
That's correct. That's correct. Which you either are now or you will be later. And I'll also give you the link because we're doing a wait list for the Becoming House because I'm not sure when the renovation will be done.
Amazing.
So I'll share you that link so
Okay,
you can
great.
put it there too.
All links below.
Amazing.
And go find Tracy, follow her, and then take one little piece of what you grasped today, one little piece of Tracy's medicine, and go ahead and send her a DM on Instagram and just tell her exactly what that was. And just send her a thank you because like people come on my podcast and they don't come to promote their stuff. I always ask anyway because I want to promote them, but nobody ever asks me to promote their own stuff. And what they come for is to share a piece of their truth and a piece of their heart in order to make your life better, improved, more amazing, and more free, more sovereign.
That's right. I mean, we have no idea how great it can get until we're willing to play that game. And that's a different game to play. And it's the most rewarding, satiating, even though it's at times the most frightening because it's the most unfamiliar. But when we get to that last moment on earth and we're about to take our last breath, don't you want to look back and be like, I fucking slayed.
I did it.
I did it. I did it all. I fell on my face. I soared, like the whole gamut, you know? It's because to use a word that you use all the time, it's about aliveness.
Yeah.
Right? So be alive. So beautiful.
Yeah. Do it now.
Do it now.
There's going to be a point where you can't.
Correct.
Yeah. None of it's real and we're all going to die.
Amen.
Love you, Tracy.
I love you so much.